The High Council of the Luminary formally requested permanent diplomatic relations with Earth. The classification of humans as dangerous Deathworlders was officially changed to valued allies in their archives. As the Defiant prepared to return to Earth with news of their success, Maya stood with. Maya observed another unexpected development. The Luminary were fascinated by humans, not just by their physical capabilities or military expertise, but by their art, their music, their diverse cultures and perspectives. After centuries of fearing the Deathworlders, they discovered that evolution on a harsh planet had given humans not just strength, but resilience, adaptability, and boundless creativity. But the Void Hunters would not allow much time for cultural exchange. 7 days after the Earth vessels arrived, they launched their largest assault yet. 67 ships detected, reported the Luminary sensor operator. They're forming attack formations at all approach vectors. They've adapted to our quantum torpedo technology, Jackson added grimly. Standard tactics won't work twice. Maya studied the tactical display, then turned to Orion. High Sentinel, what if we reverse our strategy entirely? Instead of trying to keep the Void Hunters away from energy sources, what if we gave them exactly what they want? But too much of it. Orion's light patterns pulsed rapidly as he grasped her meaning. Overload their collection systems. Precisely. Maya nodded. Your scientists explain that the Luminary have been developing solar energy collection for millennia. What's the largest collector you have? The stellar array, Orion replied immediately. It's our primary power source, a ring of collectors in close solar orbit. Could it be modified to release its entire stored energy in a single directed burst? The Luminary engineers looked at each other in shock. It would destroy the array, one said. But it could work, another added hesitantly. We'd need to reconfigure the transmission systems and create a focusing mechanism. How long? Maya asked. 12 hours at minimum. Maya looked back at the tactical display. We need to buy time. The next 12 hours were the most intense battle of Maya's career. The 3 Earth vessels, supported by what remained of the Luminary defense fleet, executed a series of hit-and-run attacks on the Void Hunter forces. They couldn't win through direct confrontation, but they could confuse, delay, and divide the enemy forces. Human adaptability proved crucial. When the Void Hunters adapted to one tactic, the Earth forces would switch to another. When damaged, they improvised repairs. When outnumbered, they used the environment, asteroid fields, radiation belts, gravitational anomalies, to even the odds. The Luminary watched in amazement as the humans fought with a creativity and tenacity they had never witnessed before. These were indeed the legendary Deathworlders, not because they were monsters, but because they had evolved to never surrender, no matter the odds. Finally, the moment arrived. The modified stellar array was ready. All friendly vessels, withdraw to minimum safe distance, Maya ordered. Prepare for extreme radiation surge. The Earth and Luminary ships retreated behind Luminara Prime's moon. The Void Hunters, sensing victory at last, pressed forward toward the planet. Stellar array energy levels at maximum capacity, reported the Luminary engineer. Focusing mechanism aligned with Void Hunter fleet concentration. Maya exchanged a look with High Sentinel Orion. He nodded solemnly. Initiate the pulse, Maya ordered. For a brief moment, it seemed as if a second sun had ignited in the Luminary system. A concentrated beam of pure solar energy, the harvested power of a star collected over months, lanced across space directly into the heart of the Void Hunter formation. Unable to resist the massive energy source, the Void Hunter vessels opened their collection systems to maximum capacity. It was exactly what Maya had counted on. The energy overwhelmed their systems instantly. Ship after ship flared brilliantly as collection mechanisms overloaded, energy containment fields failed, and power cores destabilized. The chain reaction spread through their tightly packed formation like wildfire. When the light faded and sensors could function again, 53 Void Hunter ships had been destroyed or disabled. The remaining vessels, damaged and disoriented, began to retreat. "They're breaking formation," Tactical reported. Multiple vessels entering fold space. On the Luminary Command Center, a cheer erupted that shook the crystal walls. Maya felt a hand on her shoulder. Dr. Wong, tears in her eyes. "We did it," she whispered. "Humanity's first interstellar alliance. And hopefully not the last," Maya replied. In the days that followed, the Void Hunters withdrew from luminary space entirely. Whether they would return remained uncertain, but the Luminary Confederation had time to rebuild, and now they had allies. The Intrepid suddenly released an electromagnetic pulse of unprecedented magnitude, not as a weapon, but as bait. The pursuing Void Hunters, unable to resist the massive energy surge, opened specialized collection systems to absorb it. "Now," Maya ordered. The Defiant fired modified quantum torpedoes that targeted the now vulnerable collection systems of the Void Hunter ships. Unlike conventional weapons, these torpedoes didn't explode with energy the Hunters could absorb. Instead, they created localized inversions in space-time, essentially forcing the collection systems to implode. 9 Void Hunter ships went dark immediately, their energy collection systems catastrophically compromised. "Breakthrough achieved," Jackson reported. "We have a corridor to Luminara Prime." "All ships, maximum velocity," Maya ordered. "Execute breakthrough pattern." The 3 Earth vessels surged forward, punching through the gap in the Void Hunter blockade. Behind them, the remaining enemy ships struggled to regroup, confused by tactics they had never encountered before. On Luminara Prime, the planetary defense forces, heartened by the unexpected arrival of help, launched a coordinated counterattack from the surface. Luminary defensive batteries, previously conserving power, unleashed their full capacity against the disorganized blockade. The Defiant took heavy damage during the final approach to Luminara Prime. 2 of its decks breached by Void Hunter weapons. But as the Earth ships entered the protective envelope of the planetary shields, a cheer went up from the Luminary Command Center. "Captain Chen," a new luminary voice came through communications. "This is High Sentinel Orion of Luminara Prime. You have our eternal gratitude." Maya allowed herself a brief smile before returning to the task at hand. "High Sentinel, we've broken through, but the Void Hunters will regroup. We need to prepare for their counterattack." "Of course," Orion agreed. "Please bring your vessels to the central spire. We have docking facilities that will accommodate you." The view of Luminara Prime from orbit was breathtaking. A world of crystal cities and vast, luminescent oceans. But signs of the long siege were evident. Darkened districts where power had been diverted to essential systems, orbital habitats reduced to debris, and defensive installations scared by repeated attacks. The 3 Earth vessels descended through the atmosphere, guided to an enormous crystal structure that rose kilometers into the sky. As they docked, Maya could see crowds of luminary gathering to witness the arrival of the legendary Deathworlders. "They look afraid," Dr. Wong observed, watching the luminary through the viewports. "Not just of the Void Hunters, but of us too." "Can you blame them?" Maya asked. "They summoned the monsters from their darkest legends. They're not sure if we're saviors or something worse. We should show them," Dr. Wong said suddenly. "Not just our weapons or technology, but who we really are." Maya considered this. "You're right. Prepare a delegation. Medical personnel, engineers, scientists, not just security teams." She tapped her comm unit. "And have the cultural database ready for sharing. Earth art, music, literature, all of it." When the Earth delegation exited their vessels, they found a welcoming committee of luminary officials waiting. The High Sentinel stepped forward, a luminary of impressive height, with light patterns more complex than any they had seen before. "Captain Chen," Orion bowed deeply. "Luminara Prime opened its heart to the people of Earth. Though circumstances are dire, this meeting of our peoples is historic." "High Sentinel," Maya returned the bow. "Earth stands with the Luminary Confederation. We bring not just our weapons, but our knowledge, our creativity, and our determination. The diplomatic formalities continued, but were soon interrupted by tactical alerts. The Void Hunters had regrouped faster than anticipated and were preparing a massive assault on the planetary shields. "They've never committed this many ships before," Lyra said, concern evident in her voice as they studied the tactical display in the Luminary Command Center. "They must perceive Earth's intervention as a significant threat." "Good," Maya said firmly. "Because we are." The following days saw intense collaboration between humans and Luminary. Earth engineers helped reinforce planetary defense systems, while Luminary scientists shared their advanced knowledge of energy manipulation. Together, they developed new defensive technologies that neither species could have created alone. Commander Jackson nodded in agreement. "If we could break through here," he pointed to a less defended approach, "we could reach Luminara Prime and help reinforce their defenses." "Even with your impressive ship," Solarian said doubtfully, "the Void Hunter blockade numbers at least 30 vessels." Maya smiled slightly. "The Defiant won't be going alone. We've been in contact with Earth. 2 more ships are already on their way to join us, the Dauntless and the Intrepid." The Luminary exchanged surprised looks. "But the journey from Earth would take," Thelia began. "Our quantum fold technology is more advanced than you realized," Maya explained. "They'll rendezvous with us in 18 hours. "And then?" Lyra asked. "Then we punch a hole through the blockade and make our way to your homeworld," Maya said simply. "But first, we need to understand these Void Hunters better. What do they want? Have they attempted communication?" "Never." Lyra's light patterns darkened. "They arrived 6 months ago, attacking without warning or provocation. They broadcast no messages, respond to no peace overtures. They simply destroy. Every species has motivation," Dr. Wong insisted. "Resources, territory, ideology. Something drives them." "If I may," Lieutenant Raman spoke up, "the sensor data we collected during the brief engagement shows something interesting about their ships. The hull material absorbs energy across the spectrum. Light, heat, radiation. It's almost as if they're feeding on it," Dr. Wong finished, eyes widening. "Energy vampires. That would explain their targeting priority," Solarian said thoughtfully. "They always attack our solar collection arrays and fusion plants first." Maya considered this new information. If they consume energy, then perhaps conventional weapons aren't the best approach. We might need to adapt our strategy. The planning continued through the night cycle. The Luminary shared everything they knew about Void Hunter tactics and technology, while the human crew developed battle plans that incorporated their unique advantages. 18 hours later, the Defiant emerged from Quantum Fold at the rendezvous coordinates. 2 Earth vessels waited, the Dauntless, a heavy cruiser specializing in defensive systems, and the Intrepid, a smaller but faster attack ship. Captain Chen. Admiral Okafor's face appeared on the main view screen. "Earth Command has authorized full military support for the Luminary Confederation." The Security Council was quite moved by Sentinel Lyra's testimony. Maya nodded. Earth had changed in 3 centuries of isolation. Perhaps they were ready to rejoin the galactic community, even if their introduction would be through fire and battle. "Admiral, we've developed a plan to break the blockade," Maya reported. "But it will require coordination between all 3 ships and the Luminary Defense Forces. I'm transferring command of the task force to you, Captain," Admiral Okafor said. "You've engaged the enemy and have first-hand knowledge of the situation. The Dauntless and Intrepid are at your disposal." The next 24 hours were a flurry of activity as the 3 Earth vessels prepared for battle. Weapons systems were calibrated, shields reinforced, and emergency protocols reviewed. The Luminary survivors integrated their knowledge with Earth technology, creating hybrid systems that neither species could have developed alone. When they arrived at the edge of the Luminary home system, 32 Void Hunter ships waited in perfect formation around the gleaming jewel of Luminara Prime. "They've detected us," Jackson reported. "Void Hunter vessels are breaking formation. 8 ships moving to intercept. Right on schedule, Maya said calmly. Deploy quantum mines, pattern Alpha. Dauntless, move to position. The battle plan unfolded with precision. The Dauntless, with its enhanced shield systems, acted as a lightning rod, drawing Void Hunter fire, while the Defiant and Intrepid maneuvered to flank the enemy formation. Quantum mines detonated in carefully calculated patterns, creating spatial distortions that confused Void Hunter sensors. They're adapting, Lyra warned from her position at a modified sensor station. Their energy absorption rates are increasing. Implement Phase 2, Maya ordered. The Intrepid suddenly accelerated to maximum velocity, streaking directly toward the main Void Hunter fleet. Its hull glowed as experimental systems activated. Intrepid is projecting at 300% normal energy signature, Tactical reported. They've taken the bait. 15 Void Hunter vessels breaking off to pursue. It was a calculated risk. The Intrepid, smallest of the Earth vessels, had been modified to emit massive energy signatures, irresistible to the energy-hungry Void Hunters. As the enemy ships pursued what seemed like an easy feast, they fell into the trap. Intrepid has cleared the engagement zone, communications reported. Activating pulse now. The Luminary vessel occupied the center of the shuttle bay, its crystalline hull damaged but still beautiful, an intricate lattice of translucent materials that seemed to capture and refract light in hypnotic patterns. A medical team stood by, along with security personnel armed but with weapons holstered. A section of the Luminary craft shimmered and dissolved, revealing an opening. 3 figures emerged, moving with an ethereal grace despite their obvious injuries. The Luminary were taller than humans, with slender bodies that seemed almost too delicate to support life. Their skin was indeed translucent, showing intricate patterns of light flowing beneath like liquid starlight. They had 4 arms and no visible nose, while their large, multifaceted eyes reflected light like living gemstones. The foremost Luminary approached, stopping at a respectful distance. She, Maya sensed somehow, bowed deeply. Captain Maya Chen of Earth, the Luminary said, her voice like wind chimes in a gentle breeze. I am Sentinel Lyra. With me are Navigator Solarian and Emissary Thalia. We owe you our lives. Maya returned the bow. We're glad we arrived in time. Welcome aboard the Defiant. Your ship, Lyra looked around. It's remarkable. We detected your weapons fire. The Void Hunters have never retreated before. They haven't retreated yet, Maya corrected. We're in Quantum Fold now, heading to a safe rendezvous point, but they'll regroup and pursue. We need to understand what we're facing. Lyra nodded, the light patterns beneath her skin pulsing faster. Of course, though I must warn you, the journey to our homeworld is dangerous. The Void Hunters have blockaded the entire Luminary Confederation. Our central worlds are under siege. How many of your people remain? Dr. Wong asked gently. Billions still, Lyra answered, but our defenses weaken daily. The Void Hunters target our infrastructure first, power generation, orbital habitats, defense stations. They're methodical. And why did you call Earth specifically? Maya asked the question that had been burning in her mind. Surely there are closer civilizations that could help. The 3 Luminary exchanged looks, their skin patterns synchronizing briefly. There were. Emissary Thalia spoke for the first time, her voice deeper than Lyra's. The Void Hunters have eliminated 7 advanced civilizations in our sector already. Those remaining have either retreated to defensive positions or are too far to reach us in time. As for why Earth, Thalia continued, we know of your world through ancient records. Earth is classified as a forbidden zone by most spacefaring species, not because your people are evil, but because you are different. Different how? Maya pressed. You evolved on a death world, Navigator Solarian explained, his voice raspy and strained. High gravity, extreme weather, aggressive pathogens, dangerous predators, radiation exposure, conditions that would kill most sentient species within hours of exposure. Your bodies, Lyra gestured to the humans present, are incredibly dense with muscle and bone. Your immune systems are hyperaggressive. Your endurance is legendary. There are stories, passed down through generations, of a single human defeating an entire squad of Draenei warriors during the First Contact era. Maya exchanged glances with Dr. Wong. Earth's historical records mentioned the Draenei briefly, an aggressive species encountered during humanity's first ventures into space. The stories say humans fought back with such ferocity that the Draenei retreated and never returned, Philia added. We Luminary are peaceful scientists and explorers. We have defensive technology, but little experience with warfare. The Void Hunters exploit this. So you called Earth because you need warriors, Maya summarized. We called Earth because we need survivors, Lyra corrected. Species who understand fighting against overwhelming odds, who evolved to endure, who never surrender. Her multifaceted eyes seemed to brighten. We called the Deathworlders because we need hope. The directness of the statement silenced Maya momentarily. She nodded once. Our medical team will assist your injured. Then we'll plan our next move. In the conference room hours later, Maya studied the holographic display of luminary space. 27 star systems connected by ancient transit networks, now partially controlled by Void Hunters. Their homeworld, Luminara Prime, is here. Lyra indicated a star near the center of the Confederation. It's currently under blockade. Our planetary shields still hold, but power reserves are diminishing. We have perhaps 2 weeks before critical systems begin to fail. The Void Hunters are maintaining forces at each major junction in the transit network, Maya observed. Classic siege tactics. But they're spread thin. They're scanning us, the sensor officer reported. I think they're surprised. Open a channel, Maya ordered. All frequencies. Channel open. Attention Void Hunter vessels. This is Captain Maya Chen of the United Earth Ship Defiant. You are engaging in hostile actions against the Luminary Confederation, who have requested our assistance. Withdraw immediately, or we will be forced to respond. The reply came not in words, but in action. The largest Void Hunter vessel fired a beam of concentrated darkness that struck the Defiant's shields. The ship shuddered. Shields holding at 82%, reported the tactical officer. That was just a warning shot, Captain. They could have hit us much harder. Maya's eyes narrowed. They're testing us. She straightened in her command chair. Lock quantum torpedoes on the lead vessel. Fire when ready. Brilliant spheres of energy launched from the Defiant, each containing a microscopic quantum singularity designed to briefly fold space around its target. The torpedoes struck the lead Void Hunter ship. For a moment, nothing happened. Then reality itself seemed to hiccup around the vessel, and when stability returned, a quarter of its hull had simply ceased to exist. Silence fell across the Defiant's bridge. Direct hit, the tactical officer reported, disbelief in his voice. Target structural integrity compromised. They're venting atmosphere. The remaining Void Hunter ships immediately began to move, spreading out to surround the Defiant. They're coordinating, Maya observed. Evasive pattern Kappa. Get us to the Luminary vessel. We need to get them aboard before. Another energy beam struck the Defiant, this time from 2 Void Hunter ships simultaneously. The deck plates vibrated beneath Maya's feet. Shields at 64%, reported the tactical officer. They're adapting to our defenses. Maya made a split-second decision. All power to forward shields. Full impulse toward the Luminary vessel. Prepare emergency tractor beam. The Defiant surged forward, its engines blazing as it charged through the Void Hunter formation. Enemy weapons fire intensified, but the reinforced forward shields held. We're in range of the Luminary ship, Lieutenant Raman called out. Activating tractor beam. Void Hunters pursuing. Tactical warned. They're targeting the Luminary vessel. Extend shields, Maya ordered. The Defiant's energy shield stretched to encompass the small luminary craft, just as Void Hunter weapons fire converged on it. The impact sent power fluctuations through the Defiant's systems, causing lights to flicker. Shields at 41% and failing, Tactical reported. We can't take much more of this. Luminary vessels secure in tractor beam, engineering confirmed. But we can't fold with them outside our hull. Maya knew they had seconds to make a decision. Emergency retrieval. Hit that ship into our main shuttle bay, now. As the tractor beam pulled the luminary vessel toward the Defiant's hull, Maya turned to her executive officer. Commander Jackson, prepare a quantum minefield. Standard pattern, maximum yield. Aye, Captain. The Defiant shuddered again as another barrage struck its failing shields. Luminary vessels secured in shuttle bay, engineering reported. Quantum mines deployed, Jackson confirmed. Maya nodded grimly. All power to engines. Get us clear of the minefield. Prepare for emergency fold on my mark. The Defiant accelerated away from the deployed mines, drawing the pursuing Void Hunters after it. When the enemy ships were in the center of the mine pattern, Maya gave the order. Detonate mines. Execute emergency fold. Behind them, space erupted in a cascade of quantum distortions as the mines detonated, temporarily folding and unfolding reality in chaotic patterns. The Void Hunter ships caught in the field were subjected to changing gravitational forces and spatial distortions beyond their defensive capabilities. As the Defiant slipped into the protective envelope of the quantum fold, the last image on the viewscreen showed 3 Void Hunter vessels being torn apart by the quantum minefield. The others were damaged but still operational, and undoubtedly furious. In the sudden quiet of the quantum fold, Maya turned to Dr. Wong. I believe it's time to meet our guests, she said, and find out exactly what we've gotten ourselves into. The fury of Earth. Maya Chen took a deep breath before entering the shuttle bay. Despite countless simulations on first contact protocols, nothing could fully prepare a human for meeting an alien species face to face. Beside her, Dr. Wong practically vibrated with excitement. Captain, regardless of the circumstances, this is a historic moment. Let's hope we live long enough to write that history, Maya replied dryly. Maya nodded, already mentally cataloging who she'd want by her side for humanity's first official interstellar mission. 3 days later, Maya stood on the bridge of the UES Defiant as it prepared to leave Earth orbit. At 600 meters long, the Defiant represented the pinnacle of human engineering, a vessel designed to explore and, if necessary, fight. Its sleek hull housed experimental weapons systems derived from theoretical physics that had never been tested against actual opponents. Quantum fold drive charged to 100%, reported Lieutenant Aisha Rahman, her navigation officer. Coordinates for Theta Cygni locked. All departments report ready, Captain, added Commander Marcus Jackson, her executive officer. Maya took a deep breath. 140 humans were about to venture farther into space than any official mission in recorded history. Send final transmission to Earth Command, she ordered. Defiant departing on rescue mission to luminary space. Estimated return in 30 days. Message acknowledged, Captain. The communications officer confirmed. Admiral O'Cuffer sends his regards and says, remember, you represent all of humanity now. Try not to scare them too badly. A few chuckles rippled through the bridge. Maya allowed herself a small smile. Engage quantum fold, she commanded. The stars outside stretched into lines as space-time bent around the Defiant. For a stomach-churning moment, reality seemed to invert itself. Then darkness enveloped them as the ship slipped into the quantum fold, a dimensional pocket where the normal laws of physics became suggestions rather than rules. The journey lasted just under 20 hours of subjective time. Maya spent it reviewing the luminary data package with Dr. Wong and preparing combat simulations based on the limited footage of the Void Hunters. Their biology is fascinating, Dr. Wong explained, pointing to holographic renderings of luminary physiology. They photosynthesize through their skin. Their blood contains particles that capture and store light energy. They're literally living solar arrays. And the Void Hunters? Maya asked. Less information there. The Luminary don't seem to know much about them. The attackers appeared without warning about 6 months ago in their timeline. They don't communicate, just destroy. The Defiant emerged from the quantum fold at the edge of the Theta Cygni system. Sensors immediately detected the aftermath of battle. Debris fields, radiation signatures consistent with advanced weapons, and faint distress beacons. Multiple wrecks detected, reported Lieutenant Raman. Luminary design, consistent with their data package. Life signs. Maya asked tensely. One small vessel, heavily damaged, hiding in the magnetic field of the fourth planet's moon. Minimal power signature, probably trying to avoid detection. Any sign of the Void Hunters? Negative, Captain. But based on residual energy signatures, they weren't here long ago. Maya nodded. Yellow alert. Shields up. Approach the survivor vessel cautiously. Open standard communication frequencies. The Defiant glided through the debris field, maneuvering around the twisted remnants of once beautiful luminary ships. Maya watched the tactical display with a growing sense of unease. The Void Hunters had been brutally efficient. Survivor vessel is responding, the communications officer announced. Audio only. This is Captain Maya Chen of the Earth vessel Defiant, Maya said clearly. We receive your distress call. How can we assist? There was a pause, then a voice, melodic yet strained, answered in perfect English. Earth vessel, you actually came. We had almost lost hope. The voice paused, replaced by a sound like crystalline chimes, perhaps their version of emotional expression. I am Sentinel Lyra of the Luminary Confederation. Our ship is critically damaged, life support failing. We are the last survivors of the defense fleet. Sentinel Lyra, we're preparing to bring your vessel aboard. Our medical team will assist your wounded. Captain Chen, there is something you must know. Lyra's voice grew urgent. The Void Hunters, they're still here. They're hunting for us. And now they'll find you too. As if summoned by those words, alarms blared across the Defiance bridge. Multiple fold signatures detected. Lieutenant Raman called out. 7. No, 8 vessels emerging. Configuration matches Void Hunter profiles. Maya's training took over. Red alert. Battle stations. Defensive pattern delta. Prepare emergency fold calculations. On the main view screen, 8 obsidian ships materialized from quantum folds. Their hulls seemed to drink in the starlight, creating unsettling silhouettes against the backdrop of space. The signal from beyond. The signal arrived on a Tuesday morning. It pierced through Earth's defensive scanner network like a needle through silk, bypassing protocols and encryption that had kept humanity isolated for 3 centuries. The message was simple. 3 words in perfect English, followed by coordinates. Help us, please. At United Earth Defense Command Headquarters in Geneva, alarms blared as technicians scrambled to analyze the unprecedented breach. Captain Maya Chen was in the middle of her combat simulation when the facility locked down. Her virtual opponents disappeared as the simulation ended abruptly. Captain Chen to Command Center. Priority Alpha. Maya stripped off her haptic gloves and sprinted through the corridors. As the commanding officer of Earth's most advanced starship, the UES Defiant, any extraterrestrial communication would involve her by protocol. But in 300 years, that protocol had never been activated. The command center was in controlled chaos when she arrived. Admiral Okafor stood before the main display, his weathered face illuminated by scrolling data. Captain Chen, he acknowledged without turning. It seems we have visitors. Sir. Maya studied the display. The signal origin. 97 light-years out. Theta Cygni system. Maya's eyes widened. That's well beyond our exploration range. And yet they know English, Admiral Okafor said quietly. And they know exactly who to ask for help. The Security Council convened within the hour. 12 faces on screens, representatives from Earth's unified government, all wearing expressions of varying concern. This could be a trap, General Santos of Lunar Defense said immediately. We've maintained isolation for reasons. Those reasons are 3 centuries old, countered Dr. Eliza Wong, Earth's leading xenobiologist, based on legends and half-remembered encounters from before the silence. Maya listened as the debate unfolded. Earth had maintained a strict non-interference, non-contact policy since the mysterious events known only as the First Contact War. Historical records from that time were fragmented, but what remained suggested humanity had encountered multiple alien civilizations and somehow terrified them all. The signal contains more than words, reported Commander Ishikawa, head of signal intelligence. There's data embedded, images, records. It's from a species calling themselves the Luminary. The main screen changed to show elegant crystalline beings with translucent skin that seemed to glow from within. Their world was a paradise of soaring crystal spires and floating cities above azure oceans. They're under attack, Ishikawa continued, by these. The image shifted to something entirely different. Dark, angular ships with surfaces that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. Grainy footage showed these ships firing on luminary cities, crystal structures shattering like glass. The attackers are called Void Hunters. According to the Luminary, they're methodically wiping out all advanced civilizations in this sector of the galaxy. Admiral Okafor turned to Maya. Captain Chen, what's your assessment? Maya studied the footage carefully. The Void Hunters' technology appeared advanced, but not insurmountably so. Their tactics were straightforward, overwhelming force rather than sophistication. Their technology doesn't appear to be beyond our capabilities, she said finally. But what concerns me is why the Luminary are asking Earth specifically for help. They must have allies closer than 97 light-years away. Dr. Wong cleared her throat. The data package includes some interesting references to humans. They call us Deathworlders. Deathworlders, Maya repeated. According to their records, Earth is classified as a Class 12 death world. Our gravity, atmospheric pressure, background radiation, pathogen load, and biodiversity of predators make our planet lethal to most spacefaring species. Dr. Wong's eyes sparkled with excitement. They believe we're uniquely equipped to fight these Void Hunters because we evolved in conditions that would kill most intelligent life in the galaxy. Silence fell over the command center as this information sank in. So we're not quarantined, Maya said slowly. They're afraid of us. And now they're desperate enough to call the monsters, General Santos added. Admiral Okafor straightened his uniform. The Security Council has voted. We will respond to this distress call. Captain Chen, prepare the Defiant for immediate departure. You'll take a volunteer crew. Maya felt her pulse quicken. Sir, the Defiant has never been tested at these distances. The theoretical range of the quantum fold drive is sufficient, he replied. Dr. Wong will accompany you as xenobiological advisor. Commander Ishikawa will handle communications. Select the rest of your crew within 6 hours.